Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to RTE. This is a webinar about the RTÉ Internship 2026. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We've a full range of topics to get across today, so we won't spend too long. I will start by introducing myself. My name is Emma Curry. I'm joined here by my colleagues Kevin Burns and Lily Sakamoto from the RTÉ Internship team. Also joined by our fellow colleagues whose areas are intaking interns for 2026, and I will introduce them and we'll hear from them later. But for now, I just want to give you a brief kind of introduction of what we'll do here today. We're going to talk about the Internship 2026, which is very exciting. We're going to have a quick presentation that will hopefully give you loads of information and answer any of the questions that you might want to ask. We also have a Q&A running at the same time, so you'll see the Q&A button at the top of your screen. If you have any questions that you want to pop in there, you're most welcome. We'll have a Q&A session at the very end. I will run through at some point an application demo, so I'll take you to the website here online and show you what it looks like when you get onto our vacancies page and what it looks like to use the application form. Then we'll hear from some of our guests today. We've exciting areas such as broadcast media management, design, commercial, and we'll hear from one of our former interns who now works here with us in RTE. So as I said, we've plenty of stuff to get through. We want to keep this light and bright. We want you guys to get as much information as you can. So I'll start by introducing Kevin Burns. He's the head of Learn in RTE here. He's our colleague on the internship team, and Kevin is going to take you through a brief overview of what the internship program looks like for 2026. So take it away, Kevin.
Thanks, Emma, and welcome everybody, and thanks everybody who's from the different teams who are supporting the internship this year. It's very exciting for us. We're really looking forward to it. So just to explain just an overview of what the internship is. So this internship is, it's the third slide, Emma. This internship is the 6-month paid program. So it's hands-on experience across RTE. There's a recruitment, there's a ad, you apply, that's how you get in, you apply through the ad, and we have a recruitment process. Anyone can apply and anyone should apply. Even if you weren't successful last year, or you came to the stage where you were in a room last year, still apply. It's welcome for everybody. And you mightn't have got in last year, but you could get in this year. So looking then, there's hands-on experience across RTE. We'll go into those in more detail as we go on. Loads of different areas. I'll go through them again. There's training, mentoring, and real-world output. So you get training and mentoring. We do the training for the first 2 weeks of the program, then a week of training that's more related to your role, and you form a group with the other interns, which Connor can explain later, and also you've mentoring and support from the area you're in for the next 6 months. The placements are in English and Oscuelga, so you could, Motogwelga got that's fair to that Doga de Gweltucht. They have a separate there's a separate session for that. That's tomorrow. So make sure you register for that if you want to find out more about the Gaelga internship. That's at 1:30. One of our former interns, Clean Nivinon, will be speaking at that, and Kathleen Nichulan from Radio na Gaeltachta. There's a sports webinar as well. We'll give you all the details later, but you're going to find out about the content creative and the other ones at this session. So now the different strands. The different strands for this year, and we've changed it slightly, we've enhanced it, and there's a bit of, for some people, you'll be getting to go into 1 or 2 areas, which is excellent when you're supported to go into 2 areas. So there's the content creatives, and I'll go into that in greater detail later, but it's, as you can imagine, what it says: radio, TV, online. Then there is design, and Claire Cunningham and Mark Hennessy are here, and they'll explain that a little later. Broadcast and media services, that without that we wouldn't be on the air. So Jean and Liam from that team are talking about that. Commercial, we need to make money. They're here too, Jean McQuillan and Gaelga, which is, one of them is based in Dublin, 2 are based in the Gaeltacht for the whole 6 months. So it's an amazing opportunity and amazing internship. They're all amazing internships. So those are the strands. So now the key dates. These are the dates for your diary. The application deadline is midnight, February 25th. So midnight 25th is the deadline. So get yourself ready way before then, a few days before then, because you're going to have to make things, you may have to make or answer questions. So just make sure that you're well ahead of yourself. It seems only a couple of weeks away, because it is, but you start working on it now. Recruitment days, these are non-negotiable. So if we can move on to slide 5, these are non-negotiable, the recruitment days. The recruitment days are April 8th and 9th. And every year we get somebody saying, I can't make the 8th or the 9th. We have to do it because we have a large volume of people who all come to RTÉ. We've about 12 rooms, 15 people in each room. So those recruitment days are non-negotiable. The first one is on site in RTÉ. It takes about half a day. The next day is online. It's a chat about the day. So you'll need to come to Dublin for one day, and that date is April 8th. So put that in your diary. The other date, hopefully, for you is that you will be coming in here and working with us on June 2nd. So that's your start date. And one of the reasons we tell people that is because very often we also get people saying, can I do my thesis, or I'm in second year, can I? We don't adapt the internship to suit what your college is. That's really important. People have come here and done internships, given up college for 6 months and then gone it. Other people, that does happen. People have deferred PhDs, all sorts of things, but we don't get involved in that. We hire you, we expect you to be here for the 6 months. Training in person for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then the end date is the 4th of December. So it's 6 months. And that's another question we often get asked, if I was really good at it, do I get kept on? Now we've had almost nothing but really good interns, and unfortunately we can't keep them on, but a lot of them apply for jobs and have been successful in getting jobs, both in here. I mean, I think we've staffed most of Virgin at this stage, which is great to see, but it is a fixed term. It's 6 months. At the end of it, you'll be in a better position in terms of your skills and your experience and applying for jobs, but there is no extension of the job. You just apply for separate jobs. The end date is the 4th of December. So now we just want to, before Emma goes through the application form, just to explain, we have a different process to a lot of jobs you'll go through. We don't have AI sorting through it. We sort through it. There's no CV or cover letter. We have 3 prompts, and you find everything on vacancies.ie. All of the different areas and the different jobs have been distilled down to 3 prompts, and Emma will go through it, but essentially it's about yourself, one element to do with the role, and then possibly a creative or a task. And that's all it is. So we try and make it so we find out about you. That's all we're interested in. We want you to be original. One thing I would say about the prompts is don't send us something you did in college. Be original, think about it. We're not looking for amazing technical skill. And I can say that because there were people who were interns who had amazing technical skill. There were other people who just did pieces on their phone to speaking, but you could see from it that they were creative and they spoke about it. It wasn't about the technical ability. We teach you that. We're hiring for people's potential, not for the skills they bring. So we're trying to find out what you're like. So the 3 prompts, the advice I'd give for that, if you're asking for my advice, is to be original, be yourself. Don't give us something you've already done for college. Read it really carefully, like Pass Irish for the Leaving. Read the questions really carefully, the clues in the question. Read it and be loyal to it, and have a good think about it, because it seems like, oh, only 3 questions, but you can tell a lot. You'd be surprised. You get a really good sense. And the task is really important because that tells us who the person is. So that's it. And now Emma's going to go through the vacancies page and explain to you how the form goes, and then we'll have the people who are running the different internships. Before I hand over to Emma, if you have any questions, put it in the Q&A, and we'll be going to that in the Q&A session after our different business owners have spoken. Okay, so over to you, Emma.
Wonderful, Kevin. Thank you so much. Okay, bear with me. I'm not a tech head, so give me 2 seconds and we'll see if I can pull this up. Just give me one moment. Why is it not letting me do this now? Can you see that now? Kevin, maybe you can tell me?
Not yet, Emma.
Not yet. Thanks, Jean. Give me 2 seconds. Give me an option. Now, can you see this?
Yeah, there it is.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you, Jean. So I'm just going to start here just at the very basic level of entry. So all of the ads, all our information on TikTok, all our information on Facebook, Instagram, when you log into about RTÉ and .ie, they'll all point you to RTÉ vacancies. So rte.ie/vacancies, and this will bring you to this page, okay? And then I'm going to scoot down. You'll see some of our other positions that are currently available. But at the bottom of the page here, you have our 5 internships detailed. So you have our broadcast and media services internship, our commercial internship, our design internship, our Clark in Ternachta, excuse my Irish, our internship for Irish, and also our content creatives internship. You'll obviously have your basic info here on the right, where you'll be based, and the salary. So I'll tip into this one here, the content creatives, and I'll just give you an idea of what we're looking at, okay? So at the top of the page, it obviously gives you your title of the job that you're applying for. Now, there's just a little note on that. You are most welcome to apply to all of the internships or to one of the internships, to 2 of the internships, whatever you feel that your skills and your passion align with, you are most welcome to apply for. It'll give you some of the baseline information here at the top. The job is temporary, full-time working hours on site, location Dublin, and your salary once more. It then details the job and it answers all these questions. So everything that's written in the bold can be asked like a question. What is it all about? It's an award-winning page. We're the leading internship program in Ireland. Tell me a little bit more. It has a little bit more information. The important bits at a glance. So again, kind of rehashing what Kevin was telling you about all the dates that are applicable to the internship, the important bits about how long it runs for, the mandatory training that goes with it, where you'll be based in Dublin. And as you can see, the Gaeilge placements fall in under content creative, your working pattern, which will be full-time, some evening work, weekend work, etc. Hybrid is not available, and the deadline, which is the 25th of February. Then we move down a little bit further. Do I need experience? As Kevin said, no CV, no cover letter. It's all about your passion. Just gives you a bit more information about what we're looking for. Again, other internships, we want to flag to everybody that there's 5 internship areas this year. So you're most welcome to apply to them all as long as they align with your passion. It brings you back here to vacancies, to this page where you'll find all the other ones detailed. It gives you kind of a question about sport here. If you're interested in working in sport, you can detail that here. Talks about our training, talks about our assessment, talks about our deadline. Want to know more? It just again highlights that this is not suitable for somebody who's in full-time work or full-time employment, as this is a full-time position here on site with us for the 6 months. And then it brings you down to apply now. So we click on this. And the start of the application form has your basic questions. Again, it highlights what internship you're going for. your name, your address, your postcode, your email, your primary phone number, your application source, and an employee referral. Now, this is not about who you know or what you know or getting into RTÉ or whatever. We just use this as a form of tracking to see how we get our internship applications. So if you don't have an answer for any of these questions, that is totally fine. You can just say you saw it online or you read the ad. But it's just a matter of us tracking how we get our application forms. Okay, so then we're on to the first question. So the first question here for the content creative is just to outline whether you're interested in sport or general content. This question is actually only going to appear on your content creative form. The other forms rather would fall in line after this. So once you've passed this question, you're into basically the same kind of application form as the other 4 disciplines. So the first question across all of the internship application forms is tell us about yourself. So you've got 250 words to tell us about yourself in this area here. And we popped a few prompts here as well that you can have a read through and you can kind of think about what we're asking you for. Now, again, as Kevin said, and we'll probably say it 20 more times before the end of the internship, please read the question carefully. Please read the prompts carefully and please be yourself. We're not looking for the best of the best. We're not looking for the most polished answer. We're not looking for the person with the most experience. We want to know about you as a person and whether you want to be here in RTÉ with us and telling us all about your passions. So that's your first question. That's standard across all 5 application forms. And then the next 2 questions will differ from internship to internship. So this one here for content creatives, this asks you about your perspective and ideas, 250 words. Once again, oops, sorry now. Once again, you have your box here, you have your prompts here, have a read, think about everything that you're saying, and pop it in into this box here. And the last question is, so for content creative, and again, across the different disciplines, you'll find that there's a task attached. So for content creatives, the task is creating a video of up to 1 minute following the prompts here. So obviously the prompt, reading the prompts is up to you, but just to give you an idea, we're looking for a 1 minute video. And when you're finished making the video, we want to see the link here and a password if necessary so that we can have a look at your creative work. Again, I'm rehashing what Kevin said because these are the things that are most important and these are the things that we want to get through to you all while you're here in the webinar is please don't rehash any previous work that you've already submitted maybe to college or you've done something, whatever. These videos or these tasks or these questions that we're asking you are about the here and the now and what you want to submit for us to review to get you here to RTÉ. So that just gives you a brief idea of what it looks like. Again, just, you know, as we said before, it's not a CV, it's not a cover letter. You get all your prompts, you get all your questions, you get all your areas to answer, and then every application form comes at the very end. You have information about your permission to work in Ireland and your visas, if that question is applicable to you, and also if you have any accommodations that we might need. So if you have any assistance to come on site or anything like that, you are most welcome to pop it into this area here, or you can also email us at internship@rte.ie at any time to let us know. So that kind of brings you through the application form. So I'll stop sharing that now and I'll pop back into the meeting. So I hope that helped everybody kind of get a brief overview of what we're looking for on the application forms. And as I said, they're semi-standard across the whole 5 applications. The main takeaway is read the questions, read what's being asked of you, take your time. You have until February the 25th. Tell us what we want you to tell us. read the prompts. Everything is detailed, and I wish you the best of luck. So now we get on to the really exciting bit. We're going to talk about the different types of internships that you could do here in RTE. So before I introduce our guest speakers, which I'm really excited that are all here today, Kevin, can you just give us a brief rundown on the content creative internship and what exciting areas the interns will be working in 2026 for
Great.
content creative?
I definitely will. And just to reiterate, because I was supposed to mention it earlier as well, if you need any accommodation at all in terms of accessibility or anything, do let us know. But let us know on the form let us know at the time of application as soon as you can, because don't get in touch with us the day before and say, I need an ISL interpreter, because as Jean will tell you, you won't get one. Even if we wanted one, we need to be able to plan to make things accessible for you. But it is open to everybody, and we want it to be accessible. But you will need to tell us so we can make accommodations. So the exciting areas, well, I find content the most exciting because that's where I come from. But obviously, other areas are exciting, which you will find out. But so content is audio, first of all. So that's 2FM, Radio 1, it's podcasting. There's a bit of audio product as well, because audio product now is how we listen and consume our content. So that's very exciting. Those are three different areas. And then the Gaeilge intern will also, they all end up working in Radio na Gaeltachta at some stage or other. So in terms of the content creatives, well, I'll mention them all first. Then there's TV, current affairs, and then the newsroom, current affairs. There's social, which is rte.ie, and then there's TV commissioning. So this is a new one that's part one, and the lab. The lab is our YouTube channels and other things. And TV commissioning is what it says. And then RTE Player, and Connor will be able to speak about that. And then the last two I have down on my list is the Gaeilge interns. So we have three of those, and that's with Sport Búdaros na Gaeltachta and Sport Ireland help us so that we have two sport interns. And those two internships, the Gaeilge and the sport, are ones that you have to let us know beforehand. So you tell us that you want to do the sport, or you apply for the Gaeilge one separately. And there's two webinars about them, and Emma will tell you when they are, but I know offhand that the Irish one is tomorrow and the sport one is Thursday with Jackie Hurley. Go to that if you're into the sport one. Go to the Gaeilge one, Malta Simagut on Ceann Gaeilge Dhéanamh. So you have to be elected for that. In terms of the other ones, we decide at the end of the 2 weeks where you go. So sometimes people are surprised by where they go. So you just say, I'm content creative. We spend 2 weeks with you, and then we assign you to somewhere. So it's really, really exciting. You get to be, a lot of them have ended up presenting or other things. Not that presenting is everything, but they end up being in program teams and making content. So beat that, the other area. So I'll be interested.
Fantastic, Kevin. Thank you very much.
No,
Thanks for
no
that
problem.
insight. Now, very exciting. I want to introduce Jean Corcoran and Liam Murray from Broadcast and Media Services. And Jean and Liam, we're delighted to have you. Could you give us an overview about all the exciting areas and the fun things that the Broadcast and Media Services intern will be taking this year?
Certainly. So happy to be here and look forward to meeting you all. So my name is Jean Corcoran, as Emma says, and I am the Platform Operations Manager. And this year we are doing a kind of a joint internship, myself and Liam, who's going to talk to you in a minute. So Liam is from Media Management. So we're doing a joint Platform Operations and Media Management internship, which is really exciting because it covers a whole range of really exciting stuff across TV and radio. So I'm going to talk to you about platform operations specifically. I just want to give you an idea of what it is we actually do. And I think the best way to do that is to give you an example of a program and how that program travels through RTE. So let's take Traitors. So a lot of you might have seen Traitors Ireland back in September, and really big successful program for RTE. and it was delivered to RTE in September. Now, some might think a program is delivered to RTE and then is broadcast and ends up in your living room. But actually, there's a lot of things that need to happen to that program before it gets into your living room or onto your device. So first of all, it's delivered into Liam's team, and Liam's team is called Media Management. And he is a team who kind of receives in the content. They manage all the delivery systems, the timelines. They make sure all of our producers and production houses are kind of behaving themselves and delivering the content that we need on time. Then it comes to platform operations, and our teams here perform a series of tasks to get that program ready for you to watch at home. So it starts off in the TV, radio, and on-demand scheduling team. So we have a wonderful team of about 10 people who do the daily schedules for all of these different services. So if you take Traitors, they're scheduling that program to make sure it's on time, it's in the right slot, it's promoted, that it has the commercials all around that, you know, the team have sold, and that it's all, you know, kind of playlist for you to see at home, and that all those different elements are sitting where they need to sit. So there's a lot of work that goes into that on a daily basis. Then it moves from that schedule to our access services team. So our access services team provides services to deaf and hard of hearing audiences and to blind and visually impaired audiences. So they do all of the subtitles here. So any of the subtitles you see in RTÉ content is done by the team. They also produce all the audio description for our blind and visually impaired audiences. That's done in-house here. And they also coordinate the Irish Sign Language content. So they're working very closely with a company in the UK to produce that. So you would do a lot of work with them around getting those services ready for the audience. Then it goes on to program acceptance viewing. So this is a team who we regularly joke watch television for a living. So they watch all of the content that goes out on RTE. They're watching to make sure that we're keeping the audience safe, or that the audience knows what's coming. So it's protecting children, it's making sure that the content is on at the right time. So we're not going back to our Traitors, we're not putting Traitors on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're advising, you know, where this program should sit. They're letting the audience know if there's anything harmful in there, if there's any swearing, they're giving it a classification as well. So it's just informing the viewers at every stage. And then lastly, it goes to play out. So this is the last team to see all the content before it goes into your living room. So they're working with all the live productions, they're working with sport, the Late Late Show, the news, prime time, all of that to make sure the program's on time. It's, you know, they're counting the program in and they're making sure that everything is perfect going into your living room or onto your device as well. So that's a really exciting live environment to be in. So look, that's platform operations. It kind of starts as scheduling and goes right through to broadcast. And it's a really exciting area. And we look forward to having somebody come work with us for a few months in this. So thank you. I'm going to hand you over to Liam now, my colleague who manages media management.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jean. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so media management, we're a relatively small team. We've got 20 people. So I think we touch a broad range of this organization. You know, we're an operational team, which, you know, we're the kind of cogs, I suppose, that keeps the wheels of RTE moving to a certain degree. We work closely with program makers. We worked closely with Jean's team, scheduling teams. You know, we work across multiple different platforms. So yeah, we kind of touch every part of the organization. So media management, yeah, so what do we do? So as Jean mentioned, you know, we deal with external stakeholders in terms of getting our content in, whether that's from the independent sector in Ireland, whether that's international acquired programs that you might see on RT1, RT2 or the RT player. So you'll get a sense of that workflow and how that works, you know, as part of this internship. We're also heavily involved in live production and in post-production in RT. So we're really going to focus on live production for this internship. So we work very closely with news, current affairs and sport. We interact with all of those teams on a regular basis. We're not editorial anyway, we're operational, but we work very, very closely with those editorial teams. As part of this internship, what we're going to look at is live sport production from end to end, basically from an RTE perspective. So what you are going to see is, I suppose, the mechanics of how our content gets to air. So, you know, how the match feeds come in to RTE. So, you know, satellite fiber connectivity. So you're going to see a little bit of kind of legacy technology and new technology. So there's a nice mix there. Then you see how all of that content gets recorded onto our production systems. And you'll see how that content is made available to all of the program teams who want to access that content. You'll see a little bit about how that content gets pushed into our archive system as well. So that's a kind of an end-to-end piece in terms of the life cycle of a little bit of media. What we're also a kind of a key service that we provide across the department is something, you know, it's an industry standard tool. It's called EVS. So if you see a sports match on television and you see the analysis pieces that happen at halftime with the graphics, etc., that's done by my team. So you'll get to see a little bit of that. Whether that's in studio in RTE, we also do work at some of the venues, at some of the outside broadcasts. So you get to see a little bit of that as well. So I think that's a kind of a flavor of kind of what we do across the department. You know, we do, as I said, we interact with lots of different parts of this organization, but I think for this internship, we just really wanted to focus on live production from a sports perspective.
Yeah, very
And that's
exciting.
it.
Very exciting, Liam and Jean. Thank you so much. Thank you for all those details. That does sound very exciting. And I actually come from that area myself. I worked with Jean for years in operations, and it's so interesting to see the content come in almost in its raw form, and then the tapestry that's woven around it by your departments that bring it gracefully up onto air. So a very exciting internship, and we're really looking forward to seeing what comes from that. So thank you both so much for that information. I'm now going to chat to Mark Hennessy about design. So this is another new internship that's come on board for 2026. So Mark, would you be able to give us a little brief oversight of what the design internship is all about and the fun areas that they'll be working in?
Mark?
Can't hear you, Mark, just yet.
I think Mark dropped off from the call. So let me send him a message.
It's
No,
Claire
I
here.
can see him there. Will we give you a minute, Mark, just to get yourself organized? We might just pop on, Mark. What we'll do is we'll give you a second just to get organized, and we might pop on to commercial. Do I see Jean and Oscar? Are you in the room?
We are, you have myself, Oscar, and Kat.
Ah,
And
wonderful.
yeah, so
Welcome, Jean, Oscar, and Kat, and I'm going to ask you to give us a brief oversight of the commercial internship and all of the fun things that the commercial intern will work on while they're here with us in 2026.
Well, what I'll do is I'll start off first and then I'll hand you over to Kat and Oscar, because Oscar is our Deputy Head of Sales and Kat heads up our partnerships team. And I know when everybody hears commercial, they go, oh, what's that? But we're actually the advertising house of RTE. So we bring in all the revenue. And we do all the ads, all the sponsorships, everything that some people don't like about the ads, and they try and fast forward, which we really don't encourage you to do, because it's very important that you watch the ads. But we actually start from concept right through to deliverables. We work right across the industry with all the major advertising agencies out there, all the clients. Jean Corcoran, our colleague here, mentioned the Traders, which was obviously a big event last year. And we were on the other side of that. We're involved involved with the filming with the production company, and here there's an opportunity potentially maybe to work in the sponsorship teams, whereby with TV you would go out maybe on a shoot. The same with partnerships and sales. There's a huge amount involved between client meetings, concepts, brainstorming, preparation of presentations. And then we also have another area of our team would be implementation, station management and traffic. And they're all involved with ultimately getting the ad on TV using, we call them spots, and it's all about getting clients and brands on TV, on platforms, on digital, on audio, and we work right across. So it's sort of a full 360. We're quite a small team in the sense there's only about 76 of us in total on the whole commercial floor. But I would like to think that we are actually a really good team to work with. Everybody works together. You will definitely be very much part of a team. We've been very blessed with our interns. Cleena and Kerry Ann are both with us. They were very fortunate, and they would definitely be a good reach out maybe to contact and have a chat about the programme. But certainly, if you're interested in sales, in media sales, you will definitely get an all-round learning in your 6 months, and it'll certainly stand to you. But Oscar, who is our Deputy Head of Sales, and certainly Kat on partnerships, will be able to probably say a little bit more than I can. But that's sort of just an overview of what we sort of do. It's a very small overview because it's so wide, and we'd be here for another hour, and that wouldn't be fair on anybody else.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jean. Go for it, Oscar.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, Jean. So we'll try and be as quick as and summarize as much as we can. But I suppose for the interns listening, I guess what you'll get from commercial, I suppose more so than any of the other departments, is you kind of will get much more skills that are adaptable to a wider marketplace as well. So we deal with clients in categories across finance, auto, motors, any type of business, it comes through us. So we have to be well informed of everything that's going on within the business world, but we also have to be very much at the forefront in terms of our understanding, in terms of what's happening in terms of the media market world as well, and global trends. So I think it's a really interesting time to come to commercial for interns, because we're currently going through a big digital transformation within the wider organization, but that's really at a focus point in commercial, because ultimately we have to grow our digital revenue. So there's a lot of strategy going into the RTÉ player. There's a lot of strategy going into how can we take all of the money that we have from our legacy media, our traditional media, and actually convert it more into digital revenues to secure going forward. So there's a lot of skills to be learned, and there's a lot of interesting topics to be covered. So I might just hand over to Kat now to talk. Kat, who works across our partnerships team, and they do some really interesting work. Which I'll talk about.
We're in the same room. Yeah, I head up the partnerships team, which is I hear myself speak. Thanks. Nothing more off-putting. Yeah, so partnerships is, we sort of say, it's the more creative side of the commercial team. So and it really does cover everything. So what way would we would work is brands or an advertising agency might come to us with, say, a brief for a particular client, with sort of, what they're trying to achieve, what audience they're trying to talk to, a budget, timing, and generally they're looking for sort of bespoke options. And we sort of have everything within the RTÉ portfolio at our disposal to work with. So, a partnership might encompass TV sponsorship, some product placement, a branded content segment on the Today Show, some RTÉ guide, some digital audio spots, a 2FM promotion, a Radio 1OB. There's loads of different areas that you get to work across, and you sort of get to become an expert in every single thing that we do, and yeah, you get to work on some really, really exciting things. So last year, we're really lucky that last year's intern is actually now a full-time member on the partnerships team, and getting to work on some really, really creative and impactful commercial campaigns with clients. So I would say, you know, no 2 days are the same. You will learn loads, and you will learn loads about lots of different areas of the business, and you'll make a lot of connections, from, you know, talking internally to people about what we can do, across programming and editorial teams. So yeah, if you are sort of creatively minded in any way, and like to do innovative stuff, and provide really good client service at the same time, I would say partnerships and commercial would be a good place for you.
Wonderful. Jean, Oscar, and Kat, thank you so
Okay.
much. That sounds really exciting. And we know from our wonderful 2025 intern, Kerry, that's with you at the moment, that she's having an absolute blast. And she had a blast last year as the intern. So thank you so much for your time there. That's amazing. Mark, are you there? Are you online? Can we hear you?
Can you hear
Oh,
me there now?
wonderful.
Brilliant.
Mark, can you tell us a little bit about what the design internship is all about this year and what you guys are looking for and what fun things the design internship will get up to?
Yeah, I suppose it's the first year that we're doing this, so we're excited ourselves. And just to give you a quick overview, design and RTÉ is split into two type of faculties. One is a larger grouping in which you have teams that look after kind of on-air graphics, program identities, audio program identities, kind of traditional graphics and visual communications, and they also do staging and set design. So it's a wide area of many different disciplines and lots of different teams working together, right through to on-air graphics and presentation of information on air. Or you might have seen some of the AR or VR graphical use in studios on very fancy screens and stuff. So that's kind of one side of the house. The other side of the house then is the kind of product design area, in which you know, we look after and we're responsible for the kind of digital products portfolio that RTÉ is working on. So that is kind of a news app, a video app, an audio app, and also a website that RTÉ has. So that's a kind of a wide area, which is great, because this gives a successful candidate the opportunity to sample and work in many different strands, encompassed in lots of different disciplines within design in RTÉ, and be brought through them and get a you know, a feel, but also experience, and kind of maybe find or grow or excel in one particular area. So we're kind of happy about that, and it's good for us also to kind of show people the work that is done in RTÉ and the different types of designs that we do.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Mark, very exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving that excellent rundown of the design internship. And now, last but not least, I'd love to invite our previous 2025 intern, Connor Devlin, who worked in the RTÉ Player last year, but now works as the RTÉ Multimedia Coordinator here in RTÉ with us. Welcome, Connor. Thank you so much for coming. Can you give everyone in the room just a basic outline of you know, your experience here in RTÉ last year, and any kind of hints and tips that you might have for the guys here who are planning on applying for the internships? Go ahead.
Of course. So thank you so much for having me. I know how all of you are feeling right now, sitting on this call and getting your applications ready. So I can relate to that very much so. Firstly, to talk through the application process, I think a lot of the points mentioned are really valid. You know, there's so many people applying for this internship. So stand out, be unique. Don't refer to old work. Try and be as creative as possible. Really stand out from the crowd, and be true to yourself as well. Don't try and fit into the application process. Put everything in the application that you feel you would want to say, and you could stand up and say in front of anyone, and you'd stand by your work. So definitely do that, and think about what you can bring to RTÉ. I think definitely, if you have the time to read the statement of strategy from RTÉ, it's on the website. Just have a breeze over it, see what the organization is hoping to become in the next 4 years. That's what I did, and I felt like it was really helpful when putting my application together. And it can kind of give you a bit of an upper hand to know what direction the organization is hopefully going in the next 4 years. So definitely, if you have the time, look over that. Also as well, if you can, you know, take time in your application. You know, I know it's it's what, the 25th of February midnight. It seems like a long time away, but definitely sit down, go through each question, write out your prompts, and take time in the video. I know a lot of the applications require a video of some sort, so definitely take time to do that. Don't be rushing it, and give it your best shot, but try and be creative as possible, show enthusiasm, and be ambitious as well. The sky's your limit, so go for it, and just try and stand out from the crowd, because like I said, so many people are trying to get this internship. So definitely put time into it, and be ambitious. But yeah, those are my tips for applying. But the internship itself, if you're lucky enough to get into the program, it is honestly the best 6 months you'll have. It is so fun. The things you learn, the people you also work with. Our internship group, all 15 of us, we were so close. We would go to lunch together, we would chat, we would go visit each other, and it's a great support system as well. The wider teams as well. Like Emma said, I was working in the RTÉ Player. I'm back in the RTÉ Player now, and I was lucky enough to work with a number of teams. The Player is very unique like that. You kind of work with a lot of people across the organization, so I got to meet loads of people. And as well, if you're lucky enough to get in, I think it's 6 months. Go exploring. Reach out to anyone. You have people's emails, go and contact them, meet them for a coffee, because once the 6 months is over, you lose that opportunity. So network so much in here when you have the time. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but yeah, I don't want to overload anyone with information, but those are my top tips really.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Connor. I think you gave great advice to everybody, and you detailed like the wonderful experiences the 2025 team had while you were here, and your shining example of like the fun that had happened last year, and then a successful placement this year in a different area. So thank you for your time on that. Now, I think it's time to go through the questions and answers. Now, naturally we've 204 people on the call, and there may be many questions and answers. So we'll do our best to try answer as many as we can. But once again, as we said, internship@rte.ie. If we don't get to the question that you asked, or you're still not sure about something, pop a question into that email, and one of us will get back to you as soon as possible. So I think Liliani and Kevin will start with the Q&A whenever you're ready, and see how best we can answer it.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful that 200 have stayed on, which is great. So I'll try and do stay on for the questions, because I think they are really good, and they are things that crop up. They are. In which internship would the most editorial or research focused part of the program be located? Is that the content internship? Research, you do research on most of the content, I would say, but I mean, commercial research about clients. It really depends. I'm not really sure what you could do that. I'm just seeing this one coming straight into year. I imagine there are 15 slots this year also. Yeah, there's actually 16. Are people able to send in another form for a section they're submitting into if they made a mistake from the previous one? I think they have before. I think you can do that. But you will have to say that please disqualify the other one. Sorry, you're on mute there, Emma. I could hear you through the glass, but I couldn't hear you.
Sorry. I was just saying, we obviously don't want loads of rehashed application forms, but if you definitely feel that you've made a mistake, or you didn't put in what you were looking for and you want to do it again, please outline that the application form that you've now submitted is the one that you want to be reviewed, not the previous version.
Yeah. So I think we meet about 150, which is a lot, but and we get quite a lot of interns, but we do want to meet people, but we can't meet everyone, or else we just not do anything else for the rest of the year. Maeve, is there any information yet on when we'll find out if we've made the second round, got the internship? No, but you can work backwards from it, in that you will have to be here on April 8th. So we'll give you a few weeks notice, and we have to look through them ourselves. So it's sometime in March, but don't hold me to that. Will this webinar be recorded? That question was asked before as well. Yes, it will. And it is being recorded at the moment, and it'll be up. Kieran said, hi, Kevin. It might just be me, but your mic glitched for a second there. Did you say content and sport were the two internships where you have to let us know beforehand? not beforehand, but during the process. So you apply for the Gaeilge one, that's a separate one. And then for sport, you apply for the content creative, but you let us know that it's sport. I'm right there. I'm Diana. Yeah. Is there any information, and this has come up a couple of times, is there any information about accommodation, especially for those coming from the other side of the country or even outside of it? Yeah, we don't help with the accommodation. We can give you information on accommodation, but we can't get involved in renting. There is, as you know, quite a big difficulty in getting accommodation. I don't know what I can say about that other than that. Rian, is there an upper or lower age limit for applications? Yeah, there's a lower one. You have to be over 18, but there isn't an upper one. So you can be, I know it sounds as if we're, oh, young people love this and young people love, but perfectly fine if you're an older person re-entering the workforce or whatever. The only thing is, in terms of that, is we don't want somebody who's spent 30 years in news talk and then decides they'd like to now work in an internship. It's like if it's a change of career if you're an older person, not that you've already worked in the media and now you're willing to do an internship. So it has to be a fresh thing for you, because we're, as you say, we're hiring people for opportunity. We don't want somebody who's already working a lot in the media, working full-time, whatever. Sarah and Kira both asked, can you apply for more than one category? Yes, you can. And preference one of them over the other. I would say that, sorry, Emma, you're...
I'm just saying, after this question, I say we'll take one more then.
Yeah, okay. Somebody has a full-time job. I'm looking to understand how long I would take annual leave for the call on the 9th. It is only, that chat is only about half an hour, but
it's
we
only
can't
about
confirm.
half an hour, and you'll get advance notice of how long or what time you'll be scheduled in at and how long it'll take.
Yeah, so I only have 4 left. So what kinds of things stand out to each separate category? Again, just being in individual and be yourself. Is this internship available to non-EU nationals? Yes, but you have to have a permit. You have to have a work permit, and we don't help get the permit. So that's something you have to sort it out yourself. When I start the application form, can I complete it over time, or does it have to be done in one sitting? Do you know the answer to that?
Well, you could take the questions offline and write them out and create your answers maybe on a Word document over time. But once you press apply and submit, the information comes straight to us. Yeah. So by all means, work on it and take your time. But when you're in the application form and it's a live application form, the information is just there until you press submit or you exit the page.
Okay. Is the internship available for those who've already graduated? Yes, but as I say, we don't want somebody who's been producing in Virgin for 10 years or whatever. If I have a holiday booked for June, does that disqualify me? If it's those dates, yes, it does. The dates for the training, because everyone's trained at the same time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there a call open to international applicants whose first English language isn't English or Gaeilge? We have had interns whose first language wasn't English, but they have to have excellent English because you'll be working through English. Do you need a full driver's license? No. Where do you list that you want to do either the Gaeilge internship or the sport internship? Gaeilge internship, it's a separate application. Sport, you mentioned it during the content creative. I have a holiday booked in August. I'm available for all the key dates mentioned, but what about August? August is fine within reason, not a month in August. It's just like a normal holiday thing. You do get holidays over your 6 months. The first prompt question, this is a very good question. It's the same for a lot of applications. Should you change your answer for each application? It's kind of hard to adapt the answers. No, you can have the same first answer for all of them. The one that just explains who you are, you can have the same first answer. And then if you are interested in one specific area within a strand, e.g. set design within the design strand, is it possible to spend your internship doing that specific area, or will interns be working across the strand? You won't be working on set design, Mark, isn't that right, for this? So you will be doing what it's actually explained in the ad.
It depends. It depends on how it works out, but at the moment the idea is that you would be working across different strands of design work.
Yeah. Is the role all on site? Yes. If some of the potential candidates for this internship might be Ukrainians, would there be some test to check their level of English? Should they cope with the internship program, be hired potentially? Are there any separate requirements for non-English speakers? So we meet you for a morning, and if you're able to function within that morning, the same as everyone else, and your English is fine for that, there's nothing stopping you doing the job. But if your English isn't that you weren't able to do the job, that's where it arises. What is the email again? It is internship@rte.ie. And that's from Megan. And I think, how does the recruitment day work if you've applied for multiple internships? You'll just be told which recruitment you're going to, really. That's how that works.
Okay, great, Kevin. I think we
John?
might leave it there because we're coming up to 2 o'clock. And I just want to say that, again, going back to all the questions that Kevin answered there, thank you again so much, Kevin. You flew through them. You're a star. And if we didn't get to something that you wanted to know, internship@rte.ie, pop your question in there, send it to us. We'll do our best to answer it for you. And as we said, go through the application forms, read everything really carefully, be yourself, be authentic, do your best, and we wish you all the best of luck. And once again, I just want to thank Jean Corcoran, Lee Murray, Mark Hennessy, Jean McQuillan, Oscar Kennedy, Kat Walinska, and Connor Devlin for taking their time to discuss their internship areas with us today. And we wish you all the very, very best in your application form, and we look forward to seeing some of you soon. Thank you so much, everyone.